Tell me about some of the wonderful environmental changes that you or your teachers or your friends have made that influence the behavior of children.
So if you think about the classroom and you have an X and a Y axis, on the one axis you have wet, dry, and on the other axis you have loud, soft. So if you think about something that would be wet and loud, it might be the water table, okay? If you think about something that would be dry and quiet, it might be the reading area. So you kind of put your classroom like that, and you organize and put the different centers to sort of fit in that criteria.
And have you ever seen a classroom organized in that way?
It's a strategy that I will look at when I go in terms of thinking about that. I've also seen research that talks about not having two areas next to each other, and I've seen that it's worked sometimes to have blocks and housekeeping right next to each other. And I've seen centers where they'll put like a window, a fake window, in between the two centers, and that kind of adds for some conversation.
And I've seen programs in which they may have as many as 5 activity centers, but there are books in each of them, which I love. I mean, books, it seems to me, should go everywhere where there are children. That's a fascinating idea. Others that you've seen that seem to work?
I can't top that, but I do think that open areas, open space, gigantic, long, straight spaces are going to lend themselves to running, sprinting. And that's the kind of stuff that, of course, is we want to see outside, and we want to have as much, moving around as we can, but can be, very tricky in terms of behavior management discipline when you're dealing with a group full of, say, 3-year-olds. It can be very tricky.
Not only very tricky, but quite dangerous sometimes. Yeah, and it's interesting to me how sometimes people will begin with activity centers, but by the end of a few months, everything's pushed back against the wall so that all the shelves are lined up along the wall, and there's this big open kind of gymnasium in the middle. And it doesn't ever seem to me to work very well. I wonder why people do that.
I had a thought, and actually Dee probably is the master of this, but it's taking classroom materials outside and just having the water table outside or the box outside, whatever it is. Once it's outside, they get used differently, and I think children see them again. So I would recommend that.
That's great. So Dee, how much can go outside?
Actually, almost anything can go outside. You just have to set up the environment the right way. So if you bring books outside, you want to maybe have some mats over on the side so the children can sit on the mats. And one of the techniques that the teachers at Samaritan use is they each have a wagon. So when they go outside, they bring their little red wagon with they change what's in it every day so that they can bring all different things outside.
We have a new outdoor nature classroom that we put together last year. As a matter of fact, Sunday we're extending it to create a bike track and a balance area. But I did that. What we did is we took logs and created a community meeting area, and we have wet elements and dry elements, but we also have 2 easels that can get moved around and put on the fence. And I like to bring things out. I'll bring out dinosaurs and rocks and put them. We have open sensory tables, and you can put different things around in them. And I bring books out also to support the different things. Like it might be books and puzzles on dinosaurs along with the dinosaurs and rocks, and put some water in there. And it is really incredible what the children do with that.
I was just thinking that when we have these hot days, the hazy hot days that we're coming up with, we would bring out the tables and chairs and let them do a car wash. We let them bring out the little tight cars, and we give them sponges and buckets, and they go around and they wash down their tables. They clean everything up. They feel very proud of all their accomplishments. And,
that's great.
And with the different structure of the tables, also having bubbles. And having those big wands and just being able to create the bubbles and things. They just really enjoy that.
And don't you find that anything to do with water, particularly bubbles, is very relaxing? And children kind of go into a zone of washing and talking, and it's peaceful, the peaceful activity.